into a car accident, you guys, and I wasn't there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel. We have an interesting story time, I guess, to talk to you guys about today. If you've seen the thumbnail, then you have seen that I got into a little fender bender. I wouldn't say a full-blown accident. It was an accident, but of course nobody sustained any injuries, whatever the case may be. But yeah, so I was headed to my yoga class.
Hot yoga, to be exact.
Yes, at a wonderful studio here in Atlanta called Yonder Yoga. And
very Caucasian.
Yes, I prefer to live a Caucasian lifestyle, and it fits into that mold very much so. So I was headed there. I was on my way. I was almost there, and there's this street that goes from like 2 lanes and merges into one, and there was like a bit of a traffic jam there, and I don't know what happened. I was driving, I saw that there was a traffic jam there, but I think in my mind, like, traffic was moving, but it was not actually moving. And I like zoned out for like 0.5 seconds, and I was like accelerating, and then I like looked and I zoned back in, and I was like headed for this car, and I pressed on my brakes, and it seemed like I had some headway, but like my brakes just did nothing for me, and my car did not stop, and it went straight into the back of another Jeep. Wow. A superior Jeep, a Jeep Wrangler. I drive a Jeep Renegade, but Jeep Wranglers are much more heavy duty cars. But yeah.
It's not really like you to play bumper cars.
It actually is. That's my 3rd or 4th time tapping somebody.
Oh, I was never in the car. He's actually a great driver when I'm driving, but in our relationship, I'm actually the driver on a day-to-day basis, but I'm a bad driver. Does that make sense?
Okay.
But for him to get into an accident this time, it's like, But it's bound to happen to you when you live in Atlanta. Either you're gonna get hit or you're gonna hit somebody. It's just bound to happen.
Yeah, and I was at fault. I'm not blaming anybody else. Sometimes I'll zone out. It just happens. Especially when you're in like that tedious, like, stop and go traffic. I think the first time it happened, it was back in Michigan, and I thought in my mind, the lady in front of me had like gone, and I was like looking at traffic coming this way. She was supposed to be taking a right, and like she had not gone, and I tapped her in the back. It was like a little tap. It was like a little boop, you know. Nobody called the police, you know. And she was angry, but I think she took my insurance information, but I never heard anything about it. And then I was at the BJ's gas station, and I tapped this lady in her bag, because, you know, it's just like those like waiting in line type situations Where it's like, why is traffic not moving?
Yeah.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason? What was the reason?
And it's like, I'll be inching up and I'm like, traffic has to be moving, but it's not. Like, you know, I think my ADHD, I think it's my ADD, like, I can't focus on like tedious traffic for that long. And I'll be like, I like will zone out. And then before you know it, I done tapped you in the back of your car. And typically, I am a very good driver, but when it comes to moments like that, I guess I need some work on my patience or on my attention span. Because I have like a short attention span when it comes to tedious, stupid traffic situations. Like, why aren't we moving? In my mind, we moved. You moved, but in reality, you did not move.
Needless to say, this has him very shaken up that day.
Yeah, that day.
Was very shooken and sad because with an accident comes expenses.
Yeah, so that was the worst one.
Expenses we cannot afford.
Not right now.
In this moment.
No, because y'all have not rounded us up to 10,000 subscribers yet.
Right.
And we are not monetized by YouTube yet. Right. So,
but luckily it wasn't that bad. The silver lining, and we were talking about this, silver lining in the car accident, non-existent, because it's like, it's still a fucking accident. And then to make it worse, I don't know if it's like this in other states, but in Georgia, you get a ticket. You get a ticket and you get an accident.
I'm pretty sure it's like that everywhere.
Oh, well, I feel like, well, the last accident I got in, my brother was able to get me out of the ticket because he's a popo.
No, I didn't have that privilege.
Yeah.
I ran into a very nice Egyptian man, and whenever people get out of the car after I rear-end them, they're always like a little perturbed, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, I'm sorry. My first instinct is always just to be completely calm. It's just like, look, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. It happened. You can be mad at me, but it wasn't like I don't know you personally. This was not a vendetta. This was an accident. I hit you. It is what it is. I'm sorry. What do you want to do about it? But like, I didn't realize how bad the damage was to my car. But he insisted on like calling the police, you know, and there was seemingly not really any damage to his car. His right bumper was like slightly tilted down to the right, and then my you know how Jeeps have that wheel on their back, so my hood had like ran up against the back wheel, so his wheel was like scratched a little bit, but that was it. Like very, very minimal damage to his car, but he still insisted on calling the police. And over the course of the time, we like got to know each other. We were like having conversations. I learned about where he was from, and he's from Africa, from Egypt and Cairo. And we were talking about all kinds of stuff, and we like became friends.
Wow.
And then the policeman came, like it must have been like 45 minutes later. And he was like very succinct and very serious. And he walked up and like asked us what happened, and then went back to his car and wrote up the ticket, and like there was no like banter, there was no back and forth. I thought I might be able to charm my way out of a ticket. No, that man came to do his job. He handed me the ticket. He was like, here's the court date, here's the this, that, and the other. And then the Egyptian man who I hate, he was like, oh, I didn't mean for you to get a ticket. I'm like, well, that's what happens when you call the police. I get a ticket. So yeah, but I got a ticket. And my car's jacked up. My hood is like warped up. Luckily, a Mexican man at a auto body shop malleted my hood so that it'll close again.
Until we get it fixed.
Yeah, until we get a new one. But a replacement hood is like $700. My bumper is cracked and whacked out of place, so I'm gonna need to replace those. So it's mainly cosmetic, but my car is my baby, so it really hurt my feelings.
We'll get it fixed though. We'll get it fixed. I'm just glad that he is home safe and it wasn't really bad, and you know, because I don't know what I would do if he was not here with me.
definitely makes you, not that my situation was severe at all, but it definitely brings, you know, to question, you know, whenever you go out onto the road, you are taking a risk. Cars, you know, anything can happen on the road. We know people who have lost people that they love to car accidents and things, you know, and you know, somebody will be here today and gone tomorrow. I think the whole tone of that day kind of shifted, and we went out to eat and we were talking about all kind of stuff, and you know, human life is precious, and friendships and love and connections are precious, and it definitely helps you to put that into context.
Definitely. So wear your seatbelt. Don't be using your phone.
Yeah. Don't text and drive.
Drive.
I was not texting and driving.
And drive for the other person. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Don't zone out while you're in tedious traffic, as hard as that may be. Stay focused, because it's really annoying to have to pay for tickets, fixing your car, potential points on your license, potentially insurance going up. It's like a snowball effect of expensive drama.
I want to make enough money to have drivers.
I like driving my own car. I like having my own autonomy.
Well, I do most of the driving anyway, and I mean like on my day-to-day driving from this appointment to the next, doing showings and going here to there and everywhere. It'd be nice to have a driver, at least for business. Leisure, which is what you usually drive for anyway, yeah, drive your own car. But for like business, I don't need to be driving all the time. Less risk.
Well, somebody's driving. Somebody got to drive. We need to make enough money to get a self-driving vehicle.
That ain't safe. What are you talking about?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
The vehicles know where the cars are. They are better than humans, I'm sure. And only getting better.
A self-driving vehicle cannot drive for the other person.
Sure it can.
No, it can't.
Yes, they can tell what's going on around them.
If somebody's coming flying down behind you, that car can't do anything. But you can avoid it. You can be like, let me get out of this lane.
Can't. Not if there's a car on each side of you. What you gonna do?
Get on
Swerve
the
off
shoulder.
into the left. Swerve off where if ain't no shoulder. There's no predicting.
Honk.
You can honk. I'm sure that they have cars that can honk.
Ain't no self-honking.
Whatever.
We're not experts on self-driving cars. In no self-driven car. Talking about it's safer. It is not.
Whatever. Anyway, the moral of the story is take care of yourselves out there.
Exactly.
Alright, thanks for listening to our video. If y'all feel like it, share some of your stories or when you may have gotten into a fender bender or car accident. One more thing. Is there some sort of like astrological thing that we can look out for? Like if Mercury... Yeah, is Mercury in her micro
or
braids?
Jupiter... micro braids.
Is she in her micro braids?
Like if anybody is into that stuff, can y'all let us know like what that is so that we can mark it on our calendars so that on those days we just...
Stay home.
Because we're not trying to get into no planetary scuffles.
That's right.
Right.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.